Hello and welcome into the Sporting JAX Report. Along with Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. We're going to do our best Project Runway today and take a closer look at some of the new kits in the USL Championship and some ideas for the Sporting JAX kits yet to be revealed. But we want to start by inviting you to our first USL Championship watch party. It is opening day on March the 9th, and we invite you to join us at the Island Wing Company, the Durban Pavilion location, for a Saturday 4 p.m. kickoff. Couple of games going on at that time and that day. Pittsburgh Riverhounds against New Mexico United or Las Vegas Lights against Memphis 901. We will be showcasing those games and getting the season started. And Mauricio, this is going to be a great way to get things going here in the USL Championship season.
Yeah, we get to watch the new look Vegas right away on the very first kickoff. I think everyone's really excited since the new ownership, some new signings that we'll cover in a little bit. And Vegas had such a bad year last year, and I think this is going to be a complete turnaround for them.
All right, we invite you to join us, and more details still to come. Be sure to tune in to social media for Sporting JAX anywhere you find us. We also want to invite you to become a member of Sporting JAX. Just go to sportingjax.com to sign up. It's absolutely free. You get discounts on Sporting JAX official club merchandise, invitations to attend exclusive insider events, automatic entry into competitions for chances to win special prizes and experiences, and you'll receive the Sporting JAX monthly email newsletter. Plus, place a deposit on season tickets and receive first access to seats and a special limited edition Sporting JAX founder member pin. Just go to sportingjax.com to register. All right, it is kit reveal season. Some of you may be thinking it's award season. No, it's kit reveal season, Mauricio, and we're going to go through some of the kit reveals in the league. But first, we want to show you some of the ideas that you, the fans, came up with for the Sporting JAX kits. Now, these are yet to be revealed by the club, still in process, but we wanted to show you a few of the ways that folks in the Sporting JAX community had ideas for these kits. So let's get started. All right, we'll start with this one. And great job of incorporating the team colors into this. The other thing I like about this for a home kit, lighter colors. And we know how the heat of the Florida summer can beat down on a team, so lighter colors tend to do better in the heat.
Yeah, well, and everyone's asking us what our home and away and our third jersey is going to look like. I mean, this is a good example of how you incorporate all of the colors of the team into one, and then you kind of have the traditional kind of, the hoop in the middle. It's a two hoop, but really creative, but very traditional as well.
All right, and remember, we're talking about home, away, third kit, men's and women's. So you're talking about 6 different kits potentially. And how about this one? Again, this might be a good road kit potentially when you talk about the darker colors, the darker shorts, but I like the two-tone on the sleeves.
Yeah, and it's not unusual. I mean, you look at the black shorts there, it's not unusual for teams to kind of actually pull a color that's not traditional to their colors, just to kind of mix and match a little bit. I love the blue, all blue socks. You're kind of very traditional, not with a whole lot of flair to it.
All right, here's one that I thought was extremely creative, and I don't know how you make this work on fabric, but if you could get this sort of translucent water graphic, that would be quite a look.
Well, a lot of these new apparel companies that are trying to kind of break into the market and try to get some share space of some of the traditional apparel, they are able to do this. They're able to customize your jersey in a way that's very particular, specific to your region.
I also thought that again, this using a little bit of a crayon approach. Hey, why not? Love this from a younger fan. But again, I could see this as a third kit or maybe even a primary home kit for the women.
Yeah, and there aren't a lot of teams out there that are predominantly orange and yellow. I think that's a good in between. It's a way to use both really accented colors, but as your main color as well.
Here's one I really like: the stripes here on this kit. I'm a sucker for a stripe or a sash, so to see this, I thought this is a very sharp look. Again, not super dark colors. I'm probably more fixated on this than some may be, but really like the look of this one.
Yeah, I think this is really traditional, kind of how you bring in 2 different shades of blue, and you still have a little bit of stripe there with the yellow and orange on the side. This is not a hint towards our apparel company. We're not a Kappa officially Italian club just yet.
Or anything else at this point. Then you have these 4 different designs that have different trim on the neck and sleeves. You have the different prints going. I particularly like number 2 here.
I mean, this is really, really creative. And from 2 to 3, but 2 definitely stands out. I mean, whether it's a bit of a water shadow or a lightning strike, I'm not really sure, but it's, once again, these new companies, they're able to really, cross and match whatever you want the jersey to look like.
At first glance, I thought it might be the water in the Jacksonville area there with the St. Johns River. I'm not sure if that's
fair,
what it was.
like all four of these are really creative, and I think they'll all be a hit if we decided to design any of them.
All right, I like this one too. Again, darker color, maybe a road kit, but I love the way that the colors pop off of this darker blue.
Yeah, I do too. I think a little bit outside of the ordinary with the darker blue. I mean, I think our primary color would be the lighter blue. So the darker could be as a celebration jersey or a special event, but just really creative.
And then we have some more young fans submitting. Look at this one. I love this. I mean, I'm not sure it touches all of the colors exactly, but a third kit or a special edition kit. I love the passion from a young fan.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and who's to say that it can't be different colors? I think that's a conversation that I had with my son when he designed his. The logo is really going to be the one that's going to determine the jersey. And I mean, young people are just so creative, and we kind of get too stuck on the same colors.
And if we ever were to play, speaking of your son, this is from your boy. Has the love of the game written all over it, maybe a Valentine's Day feel.
That's it, right? On Valentine's Day, that's the jersey will come out, and any other special day, anniversary day, but just love for the game, love for the jersey, love for the crest.
And maybe the most popular submission, of course, here is our office dog, Benny, all over the place here. Benny, 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 and I love the paw print above the name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, and our social media designer had nothing to do with this. She's unbiased. It was a third party submission that just loves Benny, and the paw, the name, I guess he's a goalkeeper with the number 1.
Clearly has to be. Plays great between the pipes. Okay, so one of the things we'll be looking forward to going forward is finding out what the kits will look like. Of course, we've got a little time before the first season to make those decisions. There are other USL Championship squads, though, that unveiled here in the last couple of days and weeks their new kits for the upcoming season. So we want to walk them down the runway as well. So let's start with Oakland Roots. And I'll tell you, I love the look of this. I mean, this really captures a certain flair. Obviously, the multicolor is a big part of this too, but I love the look, and Oakland's always had some great kits.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that mural, the one with multiple colors that they have, and it kind of once again goes back into like there's not a specific color. I think if you ask me today, like what are Roots' original colors or primary colors, I think they've done such a good job of being a mosaic of their own city, and their jersey represents that.
All right, next up, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who trotted out a new city. They have, by the way, a different jersey sponsor, home and away, which is something you're seeing a little more frequently. I particularly love the darker look here with a bit of the Pittsburgh skyline in there in the background.
Yeah, if you look at this company here, one of the new companies coming into the U.S. market, Charlie, they can design a jersey for you the way you really envision it that represents your city. So now this picture is great, right? Because he has the skyline and the bridge in the back of it, and he also has it on the jersey. I mean, really creative. All
right, then Indy 11, a team that has a very recognizable kind of key look, and that is the checkerboard, of course, for the Indy 500, one of the big events played in that city. They've gone from having the chest be the checkerboard to the sleeves be the checkerboard. I like the change.
Yeah, I do, and they change apparel companies as well, but they maintain the traditional look with the checker and their traditional colors, the light blue and the dark blue. I think this very much is traditional to them and not a huge surprise.
All right, coming into the league once again is North Carolina FC, and they've maintained a fairly traditional look. I really love the white jersey. I'm assuming this is a road kit, but I love the design on that to give them a little flair when they're playing away from home.
I do too, and you look at the contrast of both jerseys. You have the blue that is predominantly one color, and there's some layers to it underneath on the design. But yeah, that white jersey with the sublimation that they were able to kind of make in between must represent something within North Carolina FC. But just a really clean look, very traditional to Adidas.
And that gold star, of course, showing up on both. All right, now to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who did a nod to the past with their new kits. They go with the hoop sleeves coming back in here for 2024.
Well, and the Rowdies probably the most traditional remaining club in USL and really US soccer in general. So having, kind of given a nod back to their past and to their history back in, 1970s and NASL days, I think they hit a home run here.
And then New Mexico United with new away kits. that they've debuted. And of course, that bold yellow color for New Mexico is so key. You always know when New Mexico is out on the pitch.
Yeah, and they switch apparel companies as well. So I think Puma's able to kind of really bring out that gold, where Adidas was a little bit darker gold last year. This is a really clean look for them.
And then finally, and this was announced in December, that is Rhode Island with their new look, and clearly playing on those two, that gold and that blue color. Pretty similar, although you see some of the detail there in the road jersey, the gold jersey. And so a little bit of a different feel, and a little more. One is called the Road jersey, RHODE. The other, the Energy jersey. That'll be the home kit. That's what we'll see Rhode Island playing in this year.
Yeah, really. I mean, I was going to say traditional as far as in the sense of how they use their colors, but there's no tradition to them yet. They're just starting out, but two clean jerseys, you really can't go wrong with them. I think a lot of teams, sometimes they try to get a little bit over creative and they hit a home run, but also sometimes a big miss. Sometimes they just stay nice and safe. I think this is a safe, good-looking jersey.
All right, we'll see all those kits out on the pitch coming up starting March the 9th as the USL Championship season begins. All right, let's talk about some of the other moves that have happened in the USL Championship. The most active team over the last several weeks has been the Las Vegas Lights. Jose Bautista, the former Major League Baseball star, now the owner, and he is making waves, including a big signing. They signed two-time USL Championship Player of the Year Solomon Asante, a couple of experienced defenders as well, in Fabian Garcia and Gasso Samake. But talk about Asante, a guy who won Player of the Year award in 2019 and in 2020. He's 33 years old. So what does that tell you about their direction? At the same time, they've signed Edison Azcona on loan from Inter Miami. He's a Dominican national, a much younger player. Interesting signings here in the past week for Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think you're going to continue to see Vegas, even as the season kind of goes on, to continue to improve on their roster. It is a bit of remake, new ownership. They struggled last year. I mean, I think by far they're the team that had the least amount of success in the league. So bringing Asante in, I don't know that they're expecting him to be Player of the Year anymore. He had a really bit of a down, injury-plagued year at Indy. So where is he at coming out of that environment? But when he's electric, he's real. So I mean, he's probably a guy that can still kind of get a lot of goals for you. Maybe the longevity of the season will kind of play out to be his Achilles heel. But then that's why you have some young players coming in as well. So I think they're putting a team together to win. Now you look at a defender they brought in Fabian Garcia too, over 100 appearances, won a championship for San Antonio. So a team that's definitely going to be ready to compete now, but with some legs to come in and kind of start preparing for the future also.
I'll also point out that Asante 52 goals and 53 assists in 161 appearances in the USL Championship. All right, let's move on now to the Women's Gold Cup. The United States, as of the taping of this show on Monday, 2 shutout victories. They're going to be moving on to the bracket, moving out of the group stage for sure. What are your expectations for the U.S. in this tournament? It would be easy to say, hey, it's the U.S., they're going to walk, but is that what you're expecting here?
Well, I think from a result standpoint, you would expect that, but it's not going to be a cakewalk, right? Canada, I know they're going through some issues as far as kind of within the federation, but Canada is a very, competent opponent right now as well, and it has been for a couple of years for the U.S. in the CONCACAF space. But you also have Brazil, right? That's always been a bit of that Achilles heel in the U.S. Brazil's never been able to kind of get over the U.S. hump, but they're capable of competing any other day. But I think from a result standpoint, but I would love to see just kind of where this team kind of comes out. This is really the full cycle that the new coach, Emma Hayes is having with the team. What is that going to look like for the team, kind of going into it and kind of coming out of the cycle? New players, we saw a lot of graduating, retiring players from the World Cup. So really from a cultural standpoint, style of play, what does this team look like? But you expect them to win this tournament.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there are some key players who are being replaced here who have been long-standing stars for the U.S. The next time they'll be out there after this competition will be the Olympics. So we'll keep a close eye on how things develop for the U.S. over the course of this summer. I want to remind you to join us for our podcast, The Sporting Pod. Each and every week, we join with Mauricio and Tony Allegretti and talk about a big topic. This past week, we delved deeply into the U.S. Open Cup controversy and how MLS has approached that historic competition. That's to be found everywhere you find your finer podcasts, The Sporting Pod. Please subscribe, listen, and give us your feedback every week. Finally, high school soccer. There are a couple of local girls teams that have made it to the state Final Four. I want to congratulate Creekside and Ponte Vedra, Mauricio. We've talked about the strength of girls soccer in our area, and these two teams have a chance to bring home a state title.
Well, and I was at the game. I was at the quarterfinal game for Creekside and Barton Trail, and that could have been a state final. It was competitive. Both teams have players that played together in club soccer. So just the wealth of talent in this region and just packed stadium, really kind of what you would want. It's a shame that they got knocked out, and Ponte Vedra had a little bit of the easier pathway through. Needs kind of we talked about playing above their weight class a little bit this year, but getting to a quarterfinal. So Ponte Vedra should be the one be favored in the 6A, and Creekside, I think after beating Barton Trail, a lot of confidence going into the state finals.
We'll keep a close eye on how things play out in the Final Four in DeLand. That'll do it for the Sporting JAX Report. Once again this week, for Mauricio Ruiz, I'm Cole Pepper. Please subscribe and pass on the word to your other soccer fan friends. We're here each and every week. Thanks for watching the Sporting JAX Report.